When I saw this in the theater, I was bawling, to tell you the least. Anyways, hello, everybody. We are here to talk about the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Did I say that right? Anyways, let's get into it. I was really excited about this movie because the whole reason, and I do this a lot, and the whole reason I start like a lot of like franchises is because I see the trailer of like the latest movie, and I'm like, that looks cool. Like I mentioned, I made a fast, like I mentioned this in one of my Planet of the Apes videos, that I had made a video when like was it F9 came out, because I was like, what's this crazy franchise about, right? And same with Planet of the Apes. There was just like it looked cool, and I was like, well, I'm gonna, like, I saw the trailer, I was like, I need to just watch these movies, and I've been going through my journey of watching all of them, and I've made 3 separate videos talking about each of the rebooted franchise, and now we're here at Kingdom. I saw it last Thursday, and that's when I posted my War of the Apes video, and it was just all over, just very exciting. I got the poster, I got the bucket. I made posts about that on like social media. It was just really great. So yeah, and I'm here to talk about it. And I recorded this. I watched it Thursday. I'm recording it Sunday, the Sunday after. I like to kind of give myself a few days before I record a video on like a movie or something I'm watching, just because I want to like simmer with it and just like gather my thoughts. Although there are some videos, like in my Fallout one, where like I immediately recorded it like right afterwards because I was just so excited. So let's get into it. Kingdom of the Planet of Apes. So I said in my War video, I had theories about the movie, and I was totally wrong. And that's because I didn't want to read the bio of the movie or anything like that. But then somebody kind of spoiled the bio of like what it was. So spoiler warning, in fact, obviously heavily applied. Like if you haven't seen the movie, you can don't watch this video. If you have seen it, then you can watch. Or if you just want to be spoiled and don't care about watching the movie, but you're just curious, then go ahead and watch. Do what you please. But I'm giving you the warning. Anyways, but it's supposedly if you Google the bio, it says it's like 300 years in the future. But like in the movie, it just says many generations later. So I don't know which is true. Just know that like the time of like Caesar and his clan is like done. Like we have a new there's new apes. And so the story follows a young ape named Noah, which I kind of like these more like I don't know if they did this intentionally, but these kind of like Caesar was a very like historical name because of like the Roman, is it the Roman Empire? Yeah. And then Noah's kind of more of a biblical name in my opinion, because like Noah's Ark. So I kind of like these more like strong like historical biblical names that they use. And I don't know if that was intentional, but I do like it. So anyways, it follows the story of Noah and his clan. They're a clan of apes that like breed eagles, which is kind of cool. And like in the opening, it has like these 3 young apes, Noah, and like I guess assuming childhood friends, and they're doing some kind of like it's like a tradition where like I guess they have to go find an eagle's, is it eagle or they're falcons, I don't know, but they're birds. They have to go find an egg, and then I guess they're gonna like raise the egg, and like they have their own pet like eagle or whatever. So that's kind of cool, and I like seeing the dynamic of these 3 because it very much gave me like the feel of like these what's that movie where like those boys have to go like on the train, they're on that train track and they go find the dead body. Stand By Me, I think that's what it is. Like that vibe of like these kids like goofing around like and just having fun, and like they're about to be at a point where their lives are going to change because they're getting older. So it gave me that vibe, and I really much liked introducing these new characters, and then you get back to the village, and but you see like part of the I would feel this movie was very much like kind of like lore heavy, because like it's not the story of the first 3. Like if I have to compare them, like the first 3 movies is like the Lord of the Rings, and this to me is like the Hobbit, even though the Hobbit was a prequel and this is like a sequel. Basically what I'm saying, it's like if they're making more Planet of the Apes movie, I think like this trilogy, it's its own thing obviously, and if they're gonna make a new trilogy, it's gonna be like separate but the same, if that makes any sense. Anyways, back to the movie at hand. So they're doing this ritual, they get back to the base, and then you see like this little village of apes, and they're doing their just things, and And then eventually some things happen where some trouble drama. Eventually a human like comes around and starts causing them a little bit of trouble. Interesting, they call humans echoes, which I'm assuming it's because like humans and apes have like some distinct features, so that's kind of like an echo or a shadow. It reminded me of like how in it reminded me of how like in Super Smash Brothers you had echo characters. That's kind of where I thought of. But so this echo humans causing them a little bit of trouble, and there's kind of like mystery of like, oh my god, humans, we occasionally see them, but like, it's spooky a bit, like almost like urban legends to them, kind of, or cryptids, I don't know. But eventually stuff happens where our main character Noah has to go back out into the one of the humans, like the main human character. She breaks Noah's egg that he got, and he has to go find a new one before like the next day, because that's when the ceremony starts for their bird ritual or whatever. So he goes, but then a party was sent out because they found just maybe I think searching for more humans because they were like interfering with their like food and stuff. And then Noah finds this search party and they were killed by other apes. So, and then you also learn that there are like other ape clans, and it's kind of like, whoa, that's crazy. And like it makes kind of sense, right? Like if so many years have passed. And then the craziest part is like these apes are like for Caesar, as they're like killing a bunch of other apes. And I was like, what? They're taking the good name Lord named Caesar in vain? How dare they? And so you quickly learn that like the name Caesar carries a lot of weight. Like he is probably seen as some sort of like messiah, or like like to like these apes, because he was the first ape. And as so many years have passed, like I guess you learn this later, his words have been, I guess, screwed up a bit. So anyways, these apes come, destroy, it's a whole like anime scene. They destroyed the guy's village, and then he has to go and like find his family, seek revenge. They kill like his father, and it's just literally anime at that point. Sasuke, whatever, killing the village. Just, it's not his brother. But anyways, so he goes out. So this is kind of like, in a way, of a coming of age story. He has to like go on this journey to find his family, his clan that have been kidnapped, and his, find the people who destroyed his village. And on the way, it's like a D&D campaign where like he meets new people, and like, they get a little party going on. So he meets this orangutan. I believe his name is Raka. He's kind of like the Maurice of the movie. You find out that this orangutan, he has like, so like one thing I find really cool is that like the symbol that was Caesar's window in the first movie, that has now become like almost like a religious symbol in the franchise. And so you see an ape, like the orangutan, he's like wearing it as a necklace, and you find out that he is part of this group called like the followers of Caesar, and like he's like the last of his followers, because like the rest have been killed by, I believe, the clan that killed Noah's burned down his village. And they're like they're trying to keep the word of like Caesar pure, and they've been like, I think, making like literally like biblical scriptures of like Caesar's like words and the things he preached, like, and for the most part it seems pretty accurate. There are a couple things where like he doesn't understand why he's saying these things, but it's like, this is what Caesar taught. And he goes on and explain how like this clan that took out Noah's village, they follow Caesar, but it seems like they have like misinterpreted exactly what Caesar fully meant. So that becomes an interesting plotline later. So with that said, eventually they run into this girl again, which is funny to see like how much has changed since then. Like there's a part where they're like walking through like a building. It looks like an old building, and like the orangutan's like, yeah, this was like a sanctuary for like humans. Like we don't know what they did here, and it looked like a mall. That's what it kind of looked like to me. And I'm like, interesting. And he's talking about like, yeah, maybe humans once like were taught in like stuff. It's just so like interesting how much has changed in the last couple years. And it makes me wonder like what other things have changed in this world. Which I was like, what other animals have like, gained footing in this time, which we learn later, because they see a zebra for the first time. They're like, that's a horse with stripes. And there's like a whole like field of zebras, along with the whole field of humans just like grazing in the water, or like buffaloes or something, Anyways, the girl that was interfering with Noah's village, she comes around and they try to like befriend her. Noah was it Raka? And then he calls, and I was kind of right about this in my last video. They call her Nova. So I was kind of right about that, just saying. So they call her Nova. The Orangutang's like, he's not sure why he's like, Caesar called every human Nova or something like that. He's like, I'm not sure why we do it, but like we call all the humans Nova. And I thought that was a funny little tidbit to the last movie. Eventually though, you find out that Noah, he has to go find his family, and Raka's trying to leave the girl with the humans that they find. But then turns out the other clan has been hunting humans, and I think they're specifically trying to find her because for some reason she gets chased. Eventually Noah and Raka save her. Then you find out she can talk, and her name's May. And it's kind of interesting because you're all like, so there's some humans who I guess devolved into like more primal states, and I guess there are just some humans who are still like somewhat normal, and that's never really fully explained. And my only explanation I think about that is just that like some humans were more immune to the flu than others. I think it's the only thing that really explains it. And so I'm not going to question that anymore. If they ever like give me more context in further movies, sure, why not? But yeah, so you find out she can talk, and she's pretty much been like lying about her intentions because she just wanted to keep herself safe for the most part. Also at the same time, Noah's trying to like he's trying to fix this electric prong that he got from the clan. And that was an interesting part. And it makes me wonder, how do they get that thing to work after all these years? I don't know how electric pawns work and where they get their energy from. But like, do they have batteries? Do batteries last that long? Where do they get batteries from? That's all I want to know. I'm asking the real questions here. Anyways, so with that said, and Noah are all just, best of buds now, and they're going on their little adventure. But conflict happens. They get ambushed. Raka falls into a river. And I didn't see him die, so I hope he's still alive. But yeah, he never comes back. Spoiler alert there. But yeah. Anyways, they get taken to this coastal village, which, if I remember in the original Planet of the Apes movie, most of it takes near the coast. So I don't know if that has any importance. I know they're not really connected, but there's references, right? But so with that said, they meet the new village of clan members, and it's like almost like a cult. It's like the cult of Caesar. They have this bonobo. I believe it's a bonobo. He's a chimpanzee bonobo who's like calls himself. He's like, I am Caesar basically, but I am Proximus Caesar. I am like the new Caesar, and the cult is like apes together strong. So it's almost like he is like kidnapping all these clans to like make one giant ape clan, because like the word of Caesar was like apes together strong. And so, like, he's kind of going about, like, Caesar's words a little too seriously. But at the same time, he's not, like, 100% crazy, in my opinion. Now, anyone else can have other opinions about that. But so you learn that he has, like, been trying to find smart humans who can still speak and, like, get them information from them, because he's trying to, like, break into this vault, like, this military vault. And so he actually has one who's played by that one dude from Jurassic Park 3. So, and he's been teaching him like lore and history about like just human history and everything. But yeah, so you learn that real quickly. And here's an interesting part that I'm seeing is that like, so the other human that works for Proximus, he's trying to get like May on board with all this, but May's like, no, like the apes can't get in the vault. Like that's like a military vault. Like whatever's in there belongs to humans. And this is an interesting dynamic that happens is like the other human guy, he's like, what are you talking about? Like our time is up. Like it's the apes' time. Like either you get along with it or you're going to die. And that is kind of an interesting concept, because at this point in time, like the apes have been pretty much dominant for a few couple of years. But this girl is still fighting it. And it debates the question, like, at what point, like, if there's an apocalypse and, like, a new form of species rises, or, like, the humans are dying, like, what point do you just give up and, like, I'm accepting, like, the future that as is, or am I going to keep fighting for humanity? And that's an interesting concept, because, like, as a human myself, if I was in that situation, what would I do? As a viewer watching the movie, I'm like, apes rise up, ooh, 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 unga boonga. That's how I feel. So eventually you kind of learn that May hasn't been telling the truth fully. Noah's a little questionable on her, and stuff like that. So eventually though, Noah talks more about May, and he's like, I'm agreeing to help you, like, get into this, because she wants to get into the vault for reasons she's not necessarily being truthful about. All she really tells him, like, there's a book that's going to help humans communicate better. That's all she's saying. She's looking for like some kind of like computer chip, basically. He doesn't really tell Noah that. But Noah's like, okay, I'll help you. Like, you know, they want to flood the base because there's like a dam built by the coast. But like, as long as like you can help me like free my clan, that's all I really care about. You know, and then there's some scenes where Noah's like just trying to like figure himself out. He eventually gets like the eagle to like land on him because he's been doing that the whole movie. The eagle wouldn't come to him because his father was the keeper of eagles, and he eventually gets the eagle to land on him, and it's kind of a like, I am like older now and wiser moment. Anyway, so Noah, his friends, May are setting up explosives to blow up the dam so they can eventually flood the thing. The other human like comes in there and he has the speech of like, what are you doing? Like, this is dumb. Like, Proximus is pretty much just going to build this dam again. He's going to keep trying no matter what. Like, you should just like accept how things are. But it's like, no, I'm not. And she kills the dude. And honestly, it was a little uncomfortable. Like, not like for me to watch, just like you can tell that the other characters like, May's a little extreme here. You know, she just killed the man. And you can even tell that they're like kind of mean, like, okay, May's a little like off the rails here. So like, that's a little wild. Anyways, but they continue to help her. But the whole time you can just tell that May's itching too hard. And that was like, I think the downfall of her character right there for me, at least. You could tell she wants to get in that base so bad. And Noah's like kind of little by little, you see that Noah and his friends are like, okay, I don't know how I feel about May. She's like, I don't think she's telling us everything, because as soon as they get in the base, and that was another thing, so May needed the apes' helps to get into the base because they had to climb a mountain to get in there. And they have to carry her on her back, and like Noah almost dies doing that. And okay, I'll be honest with you, May's character irked me so hard. Ungrateful character. Anyways, they get in the base, and Noah's like, what's the deal here? And May's like, you just guys stay here. I'm gonna go do stuff. So she leaves them behind, and she's like, and it's kind of weird because it's like, you can tell something's up. She's like itching too hard to get in this base and find stuff. So while they're doing that, like the other apes, they're just chilling around, and then they find a book. It's like a children's book, and it shows them like just animals in a zoo, and then they see apes in a zoo, and they kind of realize like, whoa, at one point, humans, like, you know, we were just like literally monkeys in a cage to them, you know. And then she comes back, she gets her chip. There's a moment where she looks at a gun, and she's like, interesting, maybe. So eventually they're about to leave, flood it, but it turns out Proximus is waiting for them outside the thing. And he's basically like, you know, Noah, you're smart, but I don't know if I could trust you because you're choosing humans over me, you know? Because he's over here like, I'm just trying to follow the word of Caesar, where like, I don't want to hurt humans, right? But then he's given an option where like, okay, you either choose the human over your friend here, you know, the one that you were like falling for. And that's when May pulls out a gun and she shoots an ape. So I'm just like, and she straight up is just like, I'm betraying you, Noah. I'm sorry. And don't get me wrong, I understand why her betrayal is. She was in a tight spot. But like, it was one of those things where there was a scene where it shows her looking at a gun, and it's like, you're like, she's like, should I get the gun? And it made it seem like she shouldn't, but she does. And she is threatening everybody with guns. And then she's like, I'm gonna blow up this dam and flood all you apes because I don't care. And she says some lines that I'm like, it irked me. She's like, this base belonged to humans. It doesn't belong to you apes. It doesn't. Like, it is ours. And I was like, you cold-hearted, backstabbing, just little twerp. That's all I have to say. Noah helped you, and you betrayed him. I get it. You were in a tight spot, but like, your time is up. It's the apes' times now. Apes rise up. Rise of the planet of the apes. Dawn of the apes. War of the apes. Led to the kingdom of the apes. So you have a scene. May just leaves. And then Noah and the rest of the apes have to get to safety quickly. And then, of course, in tradition of all the ape movies, they kill a gorilla. One of the gorillas, which is another thing. There's a gorilla that is fighting Noah during this flooding thing. And I'm like, why are you guys fighting? Get to safety and then fight. Jesus. Or Caesar, you know, he's ape Jesus in this scenario. And so, he ends up making the gorilla drown. So that said, they all climb to safety, And then Proximus is waiting for Noah at the top. They kind of have a duel. Eventually, he finds the strength to defeat him along with his clan members. They get the eagles to like scratch his face out. He falls into the ocean. I'm assuming he's dead, but you know, I mean, if ever Palpatine can come back, Proximus could definitely come back. Who knows? Anyways, this clan is saved. They go back to their village, restore. One of the last scenes is May comes and visit Noah. Noah is wearing the necklace that Raka gave him of Caesar's little signal there, which you can get if you got the AMC popcorn bucket. And she pretty much just goes like, he kind of was like, you know, you betrayed me or whatever, you're trash or whatever. And she was like, well, I had to. Like I said, like that belonged to humans, not apes. And then that's when like Noah pulls out like one of the hardest lines ever. He's like at what point, as I'm paraphrasing it, like at what a point is like, do apes get to have something? You know, like you're wanting everything for yourself. He's like, this is the point where he's like questioning Caesar's like words of like, at what point like can humans and apes actually live together? Because no matter what, humans are always going to want more. And this is something I'm seeing in every part of this franchise. Like the apes tend to just kind of want to keep to themselves. They just want to raise their families, do their thing. For the most part, that's what most of the apes have wanted. But no matter what, the humans, like there are a couple good humans, don't get me wrong, like James Franco, like the main group from the second movie, for the most part, there were good humans, and even Nova, right? But the majority of the humans were like, they couldn't let go that the fact that their time is ending and that it was the apes' time. And like, that was just the theme concept that they were just grasping to like keep a hold of their dominant. And like, I think for some of them, it was just maybe scary that their time is up and they couldn't accept it. And so they keep fighting to keep a hold of this lifestyle when it's just over. And and it did irk me, the seeing that a lot of humans were like that, you know, because it just, you know, Caesar believed that there were some good humans out there. And it makes you think like as times change, you know, like, and then I think that's the thing about like, I don't know if they intentionally do this, but there are some kind of religious themes, I think, in this franchise of like the word of Caesar. And then like maybe at one point, and I think you can see this with like religion now, and I'm not trying to get too deep into it, but like there are some teachings that like maybe at one point they were perfectly fine to teach because the world was so different. Now times have changed very drastically. And so like, at one point, yeah, maybe Caesar's dream was a reality. But now that times have changed so much, maybe Caesar's teaching has to change. So there's a point where Noah tells May, like, Proximus was right. He was right that, like, I shouldn't trust humans because they're greedy. They're going to want more, you know? And in a way, and that's another thing I loved about, like, Proximus's character. He wasn't inherently evil. Like, if anything, he might have been, like, chaotic neutral. I don't know. But that was the thing I liked about Proximus' character. Like, in a way, I kind of agreed with him. He had a very serious, dramatic way of going about it. But for the most part, he just wanted, like, he knew that, like, it's the ape side now, and I'm going to do whatever I can to get these apes ahead faster. And I'm a betrayer of my own species, but, like, man, I don't care about the humans. I want the apes to rise up. I'll be honest with you. I am on the team's apes. And Proximus was, in a way, kind of right. He was definitely crazy. But that's the thing about a lot of these characters. They're not one-dimensional. There's a lot of aspects of them. And Noah was like, yeah, maybe Proximus was right, you know? And then I think he kind of like, I don't need this, like, necklace of Caesar anymore. And this is when, like, honestly, like, everything that Proximus and Noah is, like, starting to believe in is kind of right. Is that May is holding a gun behind her the whole time. And she is getting ready to shoot Noah. She's getting ready to shoot Noah if he did anything off. And it kind of just proves the point of, like, humans just can't let go. They're greedy, and this is kind of like in real life. They're greedy. They want more, you know. And if I was in that situation, I would have been that one dude who's like reading history books to that one guy. So to Proximus, that's what I would have been doing. But eventually, they go their separate ways. I think it kind of teases that maybe there will be more of a conflict between humans and apes, because at the very end, May gets the chip to the group of humans, and they're able to communicate with each other through satellites. And you often and there's like a scene where at the end where like Noah and like his friend or the girl that he like falls for, and they're looking up at the sky in like an observatory. And I don't know if they do see it, but maybe they see that the Icarus, the spaceship that gets lost, and maybe they come back. Who knows? But humans can now communicate across the world. So they might start banding together to try to take out the apes. And if there is another movie, that's where I kind of see it going. But yeah, that was the movie, and it was absolutely great. I enjoyed watching it. I got my popcorn, I got my icy. It was a good time. It was a pretty nice. It seemed the movie did well, and I hope there is more because I love this franchise. It is a great franchise. Ranking them, the original three trilogy were great, but this one I wouldn't put it as my number one, obviously, because it's just I am attached to Caesar. But I do love this kind of new era. This new story. Like it's like it's a time jump, like an anime. They did a time jump, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know how it's gonna go, but it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I think that's all we have to say. Like I said, my theories are the apes and humans are they're gonna actually go to full on war, conflict of the apes, battle of the apes. I don't know. Who knows what the next franchise is gonna be? Electric Boogaloo of the Apes. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna cook some dinner now. Juice out.
What a wonderful day!
Hey, if you stuck around this long, I just want to thank everyone who watched my videos, especially like during this Planet of the Apes like journey I've been taking, and it's really boosted my channel like quite a bit, like I more than I expected it, and I appreciate that for those who subscribed and liked, commented, or whatever, and I've been doing YouTube stuff for quite a while now, and this is like probably one of the first times that I am seeing traction for just me talking about like for the longest time I loved watching movies, shows, or even playing games, and mainly I started doing most of this because I just needed an outlet to talk about. I wanted an outlet to talk about just stuff I liked watching. I go to the movies all the time, and I rarely have anybody to talk about this kind of stuff with. So it's good to just like put it out there, and people are, I'm not like getting big crazy numbers, but like more than I'm used to. So I'm gonna take a break for like maybe a week or two, because it's insane how like fast people just put these out. Like especially like new stuff. It was easy when it was like the old Planet of the Apes movies, but just this one, it's hard to get out. I was so busy, but yeah, I'll continue doing stuff like this because it seems to be fun. It's tedious though, but I like seeing just there's someone out there who watches it. So I want to thank those, and you know, thank you for sticking around. You're the real ones. All right, peace.